ready for an amazing weekend. Life is good here in paradise. It's a beautiful day, blue skies, sunshine. What can I say? Lovely people. We are wrapping up our session here. Today is the last day of a 70-day session, 10 weeks in a row. I've been with an average of 30 people per week, guiding them through this process. It's been an amazing thing for many of them. And we've seen lots of very cool things happen. So most people are on their way tomorrow. We got a few that have early flights leaving today. I'm actually taking off today. I've got a flight myself early in the morning. And so I need to renew my visa. I'm not a Costa Rican resident. And usually I'm used to doing lecture tours every time we close. Today I'm just going off to be with someone I love very much. And so looking forward to that. Okay, I've got some questions. We're starting off with a bang here. Martha is in the house and says, "Good morning, Loren." Has made a $35 contribution. Thank you so much, Martha. I truly appreciate that very much. Hello, Sherry, Jared, and Tessa. Good to see all of you. I'm glad you're all here. Let's see. Jay says, "Hi, Loren. Have you heard much about so-called seared foods like green tea, red wines, chocolate, etc., which contain," how do I close this? There's something here in the way. I don't even know what that is. Give me 1 second. See if I can make that go away. Nope. It's kind of blocking. It's sitting on top of this. This is weird. I've never seen this before. This is where it would be really great. Auto collapse. No, that didn't do it either. There we go. Okay. Which contain chemicals like EGCG, resveratrol, etc. And what's your opinion on them for health? Okay, so you bring up a good question, Jay. And this is one of my pet peeves. You know, one of the things that nutrition does and you know, science, medicine, I mean, everyone's all over this stuff, right? What I would point out to you is that most people are looking for magic bullets. They want some easy, simple remedy so they don't actually have to change, don't have to do anything, change their diet, etc. Even some people who are eating perfectly are still, you know, what they don't want to do is they don't want to actually go to the trouble of getting their body truly clean and functioning, which happens only via fasting. I've never seen anyone. I mean, we've had people here 15, 20, 22 years eating perfectly, still create amazing levels of health by fasting for 21 days or more. It's unbelievably life-changing what happens for most people. Okay, I'm seeing this again now with a bunch of people on their way out of here who are just blown away by the changes that have occurred for them. And this is a normal, typical thing for us. This is what happens here. Okay. Saludos desde Chile y saludos a Taira, hija de Roxana Muñoz. Voy a pasar sus saludos a Taira y Roxana. Ella sabe que ella está aquí disfrutando mucho su tiempo aquí conmigo y el lugar precioso que tenemos acá. Segunda vez para Roxana, primera vez para Taira. Okay. Someone wishing a friend who's visiting from Chile, just sending their wishes to them if you don't speak Spanish. So let's come back to the question about these foods with these chemicals. The thing is, the fact that something has something beneficial doesn't mean we should consume it, okay? And I've talked about this many times before, and maybe we need to do another one of these lives where I'll just talk about studies and, you know, what the truth is about some of these studies. You know, there was a study published probably at least 25, maybe 35 years ago now, maybe 40 years ago, saying that chocolate was good for you, especially dark chocolate, you know, because of some of the nutrients in chocolate. It's good for you. And the study was published by Nestle's. It was paid for by Nestle's, the largest manufacturer of chocolate in the world. That's what happens. If they hadn't found some way to manipulate the data to make it look like it was beneficial, or maybe it really was, but if they couldn't in some way demonstrate that it was beneficial, do you think it would have hurt the study? I guarantee you would not have. Okay. Now, resveratrol has some benefits, but you don't need to drink wine to get that. You can get that from eating grapes. Okay, alcohol is a cellular poison. Chocolate in most formulation contains way too much sugar, and it's caffeine, which is a toxic stimulant. Okay, so they're looking at something that has one beneficial nutrient and saying you should eat that. And in many cases, it's being paid for. I mean, again, the studies around red wine, I guarantee you were paid for by, some wine consortium. There was a study, again, probably 40 years old, saying that one or two alcoholic drinks per day is good for you, reduces blood pressure, etc. Paid for by Seagram's International, the largest manufacturer of spirits, of alcoholic drinks in the world. Of course, they want you to believe that drinking alcohol is good for you. Let's say they get 10% of all money spent on alcohol in the world, or whatever the number is. Okay, so they're willing to put, because that's a lot of money. They're willing, maybe it's 5%. They're willing to spend a bunch of money for this study so that they can convince everyone they should drink alcohol. Alcohol is a cellular poison. Okay, when you drink alcohol, it kills cells in your body. Someone asks how often I go to the dentist. I don't go to the dentist. Okay, so yeah, these substances aren't things that anyone needs to consume. Okay, green tea, all teas come from the same tree. It's really a shrub, and whether it's black tea or green tea or white tea, they contain varying amounts of caffeine, toxic stimulant. This isn't good for you. Okay, the fact that there's some beneficial effect on the body doesn't mean we need to consume this stuff. Faraz, how you doing? Okay, you want to be really clear about this. We don't need to consume this stuff just because of that. All right? We can get everything we need eating the foods our bodies were intended to consume. That doesn't include processed things which have tons of processed sugar, like chocolate, things that contain toxins like alcohol, which kill your cells, which destroy your liver and brain cells, etc. The idea that this is good for us is silly. Okay? Are grapes a good fruit to break a fast with? They are not. Not something I'd recommend. And the reason why is because grapes are about 82% water. And most people breaking a fast are dehydrated and have a bunch of old hard stuff in there they need to eliminate. And so most people would benefit by consuming something instead that was much higher in water content. We break fast here with coconut water, watermelon, or fresh papaya. And the first 2 days, this time of year, the first 2 days, that's all we offer. In the dry season, we will also offer other melons, but we only have those other melons in the dry season. So this time of year, those are the only things we offer to break a fast with, because they're the things that are very high in water and very easy for the body to digest. We definitely don't want to be breaking fast with things like grapes, which are relatively low in water, because they don't do much to rehydrate the body or help to move this old material out. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Raluca, hello there. Nice to see you. I think I just responded to a form from you, didn't I? Amir, good to see you. Can you always tell if someone is drinking enough water and has the right amount of blood volume or not, just by correctly interpreting bioimpedance scale results alone while fasting? If not, why? Well, we can't tell that from bioimpedance results. We tell that from blood pressure and pulse and temperature. The bioimpedance scale can tell us where your body is putting water. It can tell us if you're holding water in the intestine. It can tell us if you have extracellular water. It can tell me, I'll say me, not us, because you have to understand how to interpret the numbers. But I figured out, having done thousands and thousands of cases, how to tell whether someone is rehydrating the body, holding extracellular water like edema, mucus, inflammation, or is rehydrating stuff sitting in the intestine. And we can tell that from the scale and from the blood pressure, pulse, temperature. From these numbers, the vital signs, I can see whether someone's drinking enough water to make enough blood or not. Okay, they're two different things. All right. I've got two more super chats here. I'm drop down to, and then I'll come back up. Joystick Yang has made a $4.99 contribution. Thank you so much. Joystick, and I'm guessing that's not your given name. And says, "Hey Loren, can water fasting help with women who have been diagnosed with fibroadenoma? Fibroadenoma. Okay. I don't think I know what fibroadenoma is. And I mean, I don't have a medical background. There are a lot of things I see over and over again, but I'm not sure if I know what that is. I was expecting that to be something else because we see lots of things with fibroids, like fibro, like fibroids and fibromyalgia. But fibroadenoma, I'd have to look and see what that is. Here's the thing, though, I don't have to know what it is. What I would say to you is this: can fibroadenoma heal ever? Because if it can ever heal, fasting is going to be the way to heal it. Okay. Our bodies are self-healing. Healing is a biological process. So only the body can heal the body. Nothing else can heal you from outside. Only your body can heal your body. What fasting does is it gives your body the optimal conditions to be able to cleanse and heal. There's no better way to cleanse or heal the body than via fasting. That's simply because the body's self-healing. And with fasting, we're simply getting out of the body's way as efficiently and as effectively as possible. So there's nothing better than fasting to cleanse and heal the body. Therefore, if a fibroadenoma can heal, it's going to heal better via fasting than anything else. Okay, if I had a fibroadenoma, and I'm guessing I probably won't because it sounds like it's something women have, but if I had one, if I was a woman that had one, if I knew a woman that had one, what I would do is, I would tell them to fast. I would fast myself. That's the most effective thing. Now it has to be done properly, and this is why people who've already fasted, 5, 6, 8, 10 times have come back to me over and over again. Okay. Got a little problem here on Instagram, reconnecting. So people who fast with me over and over again come back to fast with me over and over again because they know they're going to have a much better experience, more benefits, less risk when they have someone guiding them through the process who actually knows what's going on. Okay, there's no better way. If you're planning, you probably need to fast for 21 to 30 days. You definitely don't want to fast for more than about a week without experienced guidance. And it's not that a week is a good idea. It's that in a week you can't do too much damage. Okay, but you definitely don't want to do longer than that without having experienced guidance. Okay, hope that makes sense. Still not connecting here on Instagram. That's too bad. All right, we've got another one here. We got a couple more super chats here. Ian 444444 has made a 10-pound contribution. Thank you. And says Hilton Hadama promoted fans because air that doesn't move stagnates like water. Do you agree? Also, what are your views on this author? Please, like breathing in warm air in the tropics isn't optimal. Yeah, I would say that while Hilton Hotam, I think is how his name is pronounced, actually is, I think he's contributed plenty. I think there were many places he was clearly incorrect. Air often isn't moving. We don't, like here in the tropics where humans came from and are still the only place we're intended to live. We can't live in our birthday costumes, right? We need clothing anywhere else on the planet. Only here we could be naked. I've chosen not to be naked for these live broadcasts because I don't want to scare anyone. But we're tropical animals. How could it be that we shouldn't be breathing in warm air? That's absurd. So I think he was clearly incorrect about numerous things. There was something else someone pointed out to me recently that he said that I absolutely disagree with. Now, is it it's perfectly fine to have air that's moving, to air that's circulating. But what we weren't meant to do was to live in enclosed buildings. Many people have buildings where they don't even have very many windows or don't even have windows open. And so we definitely don't want air like that because then we wind up rebreathing all of our waste carbon dioxide. We want to be breathing air that contains plenty of oxygen. And if your windows are open, that should be enough to do that. I don't think you have to worry about having fans. Fans are perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with fans, but I don't know that we need to have fans. Okay. I think people might feel better for sure. Where does this half a liter per hour threshold come from? If your clients sip the right amount of water per day exactly with this pace throughout their fast, they won't run into electrolyte issues. Amir, science says that 2 healthy kidneys can process up to 1 liter per hour, 1 liter. I say I've seen many people try that and wind up having problems, creating issues, flushing out electrolytes by going that fast. And so to be safe, we cut it back to half a liter per hour, and everyone can still get all the water they need in that way. Half a liter per hour seems to work perfectly well. And yes, if people stick with that pace and they start out in good shape. I mean, obviously, if someone starts off with electrolyte problems, then they're going to wind up with problems. I mean, they already have a problem, right? So if they start off with electrolytes too low and they're drinking that much, they're probably going to get worse. But when someone starts off with a healthy balance of electrolytes, we virtually never have an issue with them. Okay, the issues occur when people are vomiting repeatedly over and over again, not getting enough water, drinking too quickly, something like that. Okay, Raluca Simple Living says, do you offer classes on fasting in order for other people to become fasting specialists? I do not currently do that. At some point in the future, that's a very real possibility. I'm kicking some things around right now with some other people. I have many things on my plate right now, and it's not our highest priority, but we do intend to expand eventually with other centers around the world. And when that happens, we will need to have other people who know how to do this, and we will train them ourselves. So this is coming at some point, I'm sure. All right, I have another super chat here, and then I'm going to go back and pick up the ones I've missed. In fact, I have, looks like 5 more super chats. So I'm going to respond to those first. Jay says, first of all, with the contribution, thank you, Jay. Thanks for your thoughts, Loren. Research foods. I agree. You probably can't get better than fasting. It's simple, free, effective, but difficult. Thank you. Yeah. Well, and to be honest with you, I mean, free in that there's no cost or anything, but if you don't know what you're doing, it's not very smart to do that without experienced guidance. We, of the more than 10,000 people I've guided through fasts, averaging 26 days, virtually everyone who has fasted on their own, and that's many of them, would say much better, much more powerful here or with my guidance remotely than they ever did on their own. Why? Because I've been through this many, many thousands of times and dozens of times in my own body. Okay, the guy that owns True North in California, our large competitor, has done one fast of longer than a week, one of more than a week in his life. I've done more than 40. So vast difference there. Let's see, where were we? Want to come to Costa Rica for a 42-day fast, but short is what seems workable. Oh, I'm sorry. This is another one. Yes, you're very welcome. So I'm going to scroll on down here to Anna Hunt. Anna, thank you so much for your kind support. Anna's made a $10 contribution. Says, hi, Loren. Do those who fast remotely for 21 days following your guidance generally eliminate old hard waste? Want to come to Costa Rica for 40-day fast, but shorter is what seems workable now. Thank you. Yes, 21 days is the minimum that I'd recommend for anyone who's really serious about their health. It typically takes that long to break down enough of the old waste to see a really significant change. So yes, I mean, typically people who fast with me for 42 days, if they're getting enough water, they will eliminate pounds and pounds and pounds of old hard material. Now, longer is better. Okay, longer is definitely better. But even with 42 days, most people are going to see a significant shift in the amount of old material there, Anna. If you do want to come to Costa Rica to do it, keep in mind we have a 4-week session that's 21 days fasting, 7 days refeeding, starting on September 3rd to October 1st. We're down to just a few spaces, so if you're interested in that, you're going to want to get that reserved as quickly as you can. See, we're still frozen here on Instagram, it appears. That's too bad. Looks like I've lost that, basically. If you want to work with me remotely, I don't stop doing that. That goes constantly. It's been 13 years now, I think. I think I had one short break at one point. I normally have 3 or 4 group calls per day. I'm currently doing 3 calls per day. I'm traveling early in the morning tomorrow. And so, but if you want to get, and it takes about 5 days to get you into our system. But if you want to get started soon, you should go to our webpage, get yourself your space reserved, and we can get you started very quickly. Okay. Thanks so much. Joel Marlborough, hello there. Carrie, how you doing? Good to see you here. Joel's made a $4.99 contribution. Says, "Hello, Loren. Should I wash fruit and lettuce from markets like Whole Foods before eating? Thanks." Well, theoretically, the answer is yes. Okay, if you're growing food yourself and you spray it with nothing, then you don't need to wash it. If you're eating organic produce, even from a place like Whole Foods, I mean, obviously they sell lots of conventional produce, which should always be washed and washed very well to get all the pesticide residue off of it. But even if you're eating organic produce is sprayed with various substances. Okay, organic produce is sprayed with various substances, and it's just they're not petrochemical substances. They're sprayed with organic things that they produce and so forth. So you probably still want to wash it. Also, you don't know who's handled it, what they've touched. Hang on just one second, please.
Dice Claudia que si le podemos mandar la plata con Gerardo, que Gerardo se la vaya a dejar.
Okay, está bien. Ay, sí que contar creo que hay 900,000. Okay, so yes, I think that's a strong yes. Definitely do that. All right, let's see here. We have Tessa Jane has made a 5 Canadian contribution and says, I'm going to have to be at work on Friday mornings from next week onwards. Sad face. Thank you so much, Tessa Jane, for the contribution. You know, these are recorded. Of course, it's not as fun as being there live, but you can always go and watch the recording. So, yeah, if you can't make it, I'm sorry to hear that. Sad to hear you won't be joining us. But now, in fact, the next Friday, I will be out of the country, and I'm not sure yet if it's going to be possible to do this call. I'm not so sure about that. It would be at this time of the day. It's kind of in the middle of my day, but maybe it would be 5 o'clock, and I have a 6 o'clock call. So maybe on Friday, maybe I'll make that work. We'll see if we can make that work. Okay, let's see. Ausland has made a 20 Australian contribution. Thank you so much. And let's see, Anna says, been sipping half a liter per hour, not fasting, and feeling good and drinking more water than I was before. Fantastic, Anna. I'm glad to hear that. Okay, so Ausland says, hi, Loren. Do you think water fast can help patients who are faced with kidney failure due to hypertension? I have high serum creatinine levels, and doctors have advised either dialysis or transplant. Yeah, absolutely. I have worked with people with kidney failure, and obviously you have to be very careful if your kidneys aren't working very well. But there's nothing better than fasting to allow the body to heal. So let me encourage you, Ausland, to reach out to me, send me a message, and let's talk. We can, start on via email. If you go to the Tanglewood website, you can send a contact us message, and which I will see and I'll respond to. But if it were me, I mean, before, you definitely don't want to do a transplant. And if you can avoid dialysis, you want to avoid dialysis. Okay, it's not really good for you. You want to, if your body can recover, and it may not be able to, but if it were me, I would always give it the chance to recover if possible. So if you're functioning right now without dialysis, you'll function better while fasting, with your body having to do less work. Okay, if it were me, that's what I would do. Okay, I hope that helps. Let's see, Karen is here. Hello, Karen. Wow, it's been a long time. Anna, you're very welcome. Karen says, please talk. Karen has made a $49.99 contribution. That's US dollars. Thank you so much, Karen. I truly appreciate that. I've missed you and wondered how you've been. I'd love to talk with you sometime. Maybe we can arrange for that to happen sometime in the not so distant future. It may be best for me after I'm back from this next trip, but who knows? I'm back here in 2 weeks, 2 weeks from today. I don't know what's going on here, why we're having trouble with Instagram today, but it's not working. So Karen says, please talk about why broccoli may or may not be good for you, please. Yeah, well, I would suggest that broccoli is definitely not an optimal food. And I know a lot of people think I'm insane for saying that. And trust me, I'm insane for completely different reasons. It's not that. It has nothing to do with broccoli. Here's the thing. All seriousness, broccoli has lots and lots of nutrients. There's no question about it. But it's not important what nutrients go into your mouth. What's important is what nutrients actually get to your cells. And there are now multiple studies that show that when we eat cruciferous vegetables, we don't absorb a lot of nutrients. So in a number of studies, they've tested one thing versus the other. What they're doing, they'll give people broccoli. They'll take a group of people, they'll give them broccoli. They'll pre-measure what they call vitamin A equivalency units. That's how much vitamin A the body could make from the carotenes in the cruciferous vegetable, because broccoli and kale and all these cabbage, all these things have carotenes. And so they figure out how much vitamin A the body could get from that quantity of carotenes. And then they look to see how much vitamin A the body does get from those carotenes. And what happens is, they get that number. Okay. Then they take the same people at a different time and they feed them a portion of papayas or mangoes. And they do the same thing. Obviously, these orange fruits contain carotenes. That's what gives them the orange color. And they look to see how much vitamin A the body could get from the carotenes. Then they measure, see how much they actually get. Okay, what's actually showing up in the body, in the bloodstream. What they find is that the average person gets twice as much vitamin A from eating the orange fruits than they do from eating the cruciferous vegetables. But here's the thing, twice as much. But here's the thing. The portion of cruciferous vegetables they give them contains twice as much, 2 times as much as the fruit does. And what that means is it's 4 times more efficient from the fruit than it is from the leafy greens. And this is why I have always said, and Karen, you've spent quite a bit of time with me in the past, so you know here, that I've always said, eat things that the body can easily digest, not cruciferous vegetables, okay? Fruits and soft, tender leaves, soft, tender greens, because those are the things our bodies can actually digest. So it doesn't matter that these foods are loaded with nutrients. If we can't digest them, we're not absorbing anything we're not digesting, and we're not assimilating anything we're not absorbing. There's a multi-step process. We're eating things that we can't digest. We're not getting much of that into the body. It's not really helping us very much. There's very little benefit to eating those things and very little reason, therefore, to consume them, okay? I don't consume them and haven't consumed them. I mean, I've probably had them once or twice in some raw vegan restaurant or something at someone's house in a salad, but I don't buy broccoli. I don't grow broccoli. We grow lettuces. Right now we have probably 3 or 4 different types of organic lettuce on hand. That's the only grain we normally have, okay? Lettuce and fruit, that's it, nothing else. That's pretty much all we have here most of the time. That's all we need. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Okay, folks, any plans for UK lecture, Loren? I have no current plans to come back to the UK. Great, Karen, I see your message. I would love to get back there, but there's no current plans to make that happen anytime soon. Obviously, everything has been a little upside down with these last couple of years with, I don't know why, I can't remember that. It seems like there was something happening these last couple of years that kind of shifted things just a tiny bit. It's now possible to start doing events again. So perhaps sooner than later, we can make that happen. What is your EC? I don't know what that means. I don't know what an EC is. Joystick says, hey, Loren, follow up with my question earlier. If fibroadenoma, adenoma, I missed that. I saw fibroadenoma. Of course, adenoma is a non-cancerous breast tumor that most often occurs in young women. Reproductive hormones may cause fibroadenomas. Yes, I'm so sorry. I know what an adenoma is. I somehow missed that letter and didn't even recognize the word. Yes, we've had great success with virtually every type, every flavor of breast cancer. Unfortunately, breast cancers are very common in women these days. We live in a very toxic world, and toxicity is the primary cause of cancer. There's 2 things, toxicity and poor immune function. In a healthy enough, in a body that's got a healthy enough immune function, it will destroy those cancerous cells as soon as it encounters them. But that's not happening in your case, in the case of someone who's got this issue, and that's why. And so what conventional cancer treatment does is it makes the body more toxic and it makes the body's immune function worse. And what fasting does is it removes toxins and it makes the body's immune function much, much better. It is the only thing I would ever do if I was in that situation with a fibroadenoma. I would be fasting. Absolutely. It has to be long enough and has to be done properly and should therefore be done with experienced guidance. If you can't get here, I can guide you through the process remotely. It's amazing what happens for most people. Now, of course, there's no guarantee because every single case is different, but it's very common for us to see tumors disappear with fasting. I mean, breast tumors are interesting because you can actually palpate them. You can feel how big the tumor is. Now, it's difficult to do when it's an internal cancer. If it's your pancreatic tumor, you can't possibly feel it. But if it's on a breast, you can actually feel how big it is, and you can feel it decreasing in size from week to week. Okay? All right. Let's see here. What's your experience with varicose veins and swelling with fasting? We have nearly 100% success with varicose. I mean, again, let me clarify. With varicose veins, most people are going to see a huge reduction. Some people don't eliminate them all. Some people do. But in most cases, we see a huge reduction with varicose veins. Swelling, I mean, if you're talking about edema disappears with fasting. And if we fast long enough to actually eliminate the cause of the edema, then it won't come back unless someone makes poor choices. We can eliminate this almost forever. You did misspell it. Okay, no problem. Thanks for telling me that, Joyce. I was wondering, how did I miss that? So cabbage and cauliflower are also not the best. That's right, Karen. My recommendation is lettuce and lettuce and lettuce. There's around 25 or 30 different types of lettuce, and all lettuces are fine. But I don't recommend these dense leaves like cabbage and kale and cauliflower and broccoli. And these things are hard for the body to digest. We can't digest cellulose and these other fibers. And so best to eat things that we can easily digest. Okay. Jenny 21 says, here's how I wash my fruit and veg: baking soda, 1 teaspoon of bicarb, 2 cups of water, and soak for 15 minutes, rinse with water afterwards. That's great for the things on the surface of the food. Unfortunately, foods that have been sprayed with pesticides have toxic pesticides inside the fruit, every cell of the fruit. So this is why I recommend eating 100% organic produce. I started doing it 32 years ago while I was still living in the US. I moved 17 years ago. Here, we haven't always been able to get that. Now, we buy almost exclusively organic produce. It's still hard sometimes to find everything we need organic, but that's pretty much what we've been doing here for a long time. Okay, I'm going to have to jump off. I've got another super chat here from Jay, 449 pounds. And Jay says, do you think one of the major causes of high cancer rates now is due to overeating, no fasting compared to before when people had to fast, no food? Well, it's a really good question. Lemon in the water is okay, Karen, for an occasional thing. But if you're doing it all the time, when your body sees nutrients in the water, it thinks there's food coming. And so you're better off just drinking plain water. This is spring water, nothing added to it, right? Completely crystal clear, perfect, tasteless, odorless. That's how it should be. If you put lemon in there, it might taste good, and as an occasional thing, that's fine. But your body thinks there's food coming, and so sends a bunch of energy to the digestive tract. I wouldn't recommend that. Okay. So back to Jay. Yes, Jay, it's an interesting point. If people were still eating smaller amounts of food, as they, being much more moderate in their consumption of food, and having only 2 meals a day, as people probably did, most people throughout history, then they would have these much longer periods where the body would be able to do much better job in terms of immune function and would probably be able to destroy some of those cancer cells. So it probably has contributed significantly to the problem. It's a very good point. Now, I think probably just as large, if not larger, contribution to the cancer epidemic, and it has become epidemic, is the fact that the average person eats toxic crap all the time, that we live in a much more toxic world in general, including with cell phone towers and, what 4G wasn't bad enough, now you got 5G. This is very harmful to the body and definitely will create problems for people. Okay, no question about it. Yeah, Sarah, I think that's exactly what's going on. Okay, Amir says, why do I feel thirsty much more quickly after eating watermelon as opposed to eating pizza? Old hard material. Do your clients feel the same when starting or feeding on coconut water, watermelon too? Yes, what's going on there is very simple. As you begin to rehydrate that old stuff, okay, it's like imagine you go away for a week and you come back and your potted plants, the soil's hard and dry, and you begin to water them. And at first the water kind of runs off, but as it becomes damp, what happens? It absorbs more water. Okay. That old stuff in there is like a giant sponge. You probably heard me say that. It's like a giant sponge. And so as you begin, when you're eating higher water content foods and beginning to rehydrate the old stuff, it starts to really absorb a bunch of water. And that's what's going on. This is why this is happening. Okay. Stick with the high water content foods. It's way more hydrating. That's what your body actually needs. Karen says, I have a friend here who is listening and has 3 questions, has these questions. Gratitude. You're very, very welcome. I'm super glad that you're here. I hope that your friend is enjoying this and that this is helpful. I hope your friend will consider coming in and doing what you've done, which is spending some time with us, because it's, as I think you can tell them, or probably already have, it's life-changing. It's, it's amazing what happens for people, how much better people feel and function. All right. Sarah C says, truth speaker, I have heard ginger can help with spike proteins, etc. Maybe charcoal. I'm not sure. I think I must have missed a question from someone somewhere. Fasting is the best way. It's been shown to stop the body from producing these spike proteins if someone has ever had that nasty thing no one should have. Anna says, any idea why I have body aches sometimes eating watermelon, particularly between my shoulders? No, I'm not sure exactly why that is, but again, my guess is it probably has to do with the fact that watermelon's allowing your body to begin detoxing a bit. Okay. Okay, folks. You say the deepest part of the process starts at day 10 or 11. Does this have anything to do with getting into full ketosis at the same time? It is. It's not a coincidence. Most of the toxins in the body are stored in body fat. So when I say that, I'm saying that because that's when we get to full ketosis, 10 to 11 days for most people. And we've seen this over and over again by looking at people's blood ketone levels. Okay. So folks, I'm going to have to go. It's been fantastic being with you here today. I see that there's about 50 of you here, 19 thumbs up. If you think this is beneficial, please give it a thumbs up. Please give it a thumbs up. Show me some love. Come on. I'm here for you every week now for like 6 years, almost every week. If you think this is something other people would benefit from, consider that you can also share the link on your Facebook or YouTube or Instagram, right? Groups, you can get, let's help get this. There's so many people who don't understand this stuff. So many people out there that are endeavoring to take their health to an amazing new level, but not understanding some really important key pieces. And so not getting all the benefit they could be getting. All right. So again, give it a thumbs up, please, if you think this was beneficial to you. And if you can, if you feel like maybe you can help other people by sharing this, please feel free to share the link as well. You are very welcome, Truth Speaker Karen. I'll look forward to hearing from you again sometime soon. I'm glad you're back. Sarah, thank you so much. Ian says, Ref permaculture mineralized 49 to 1 water. Does the seawater have to be freshly collected or can it last a few months? I don't think there's any problem with it sitting for quite some time. I don't think that's any problem at all. And what Ian is referring to, what we do here is we'll gather seawater when we go to the beach, like a gallon of seawater, put it into a 50-gallon barrel, let the rain fill up the rest of that 49 gallons. And now we have something we use to water our tomatoes and lettuce and celery, etc. Because that mixture, seawater contains all the minerals. This way we're getting all the inorganic minerals into the soil where they might not be. And the bacteria in the soil then help the plant convert them into organic plant tissue. So we get the minerals in our food this way. Okay, we shouldn't be consuming inorganic minerals or supplements. We can actually improve the food that we grow by using some seawater mixed with rain. It has to be diluted significantly. So again, 1 gallon of seawater to 49 gallons of rain. Okay, hope that helps. It's been fantastic being with you. I will look forward to seeing you all again. I think I'll be back next Friday at the same time. That's the plan. and I'll look forward to seeing you then. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.